Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is Style in V, and this is a tutorial on how to make this bubu gown. As you can see right here, so it has an inner belt and also two sides ruffles on the both sides of the gown. Okay, if it's something you're interested in, kindly stay tuned and watch till the end of this video. So let's get started. Now, for you to make this bubu dress, you'll be needing your organza or organdy and your dutchess fabric. Okay, so I have with me 3 yards of organza and also 4 yards of dutchess fabric. So I'll be using this small piece to make an illustration before working on the main fabric. Okay, so I have with me my length, which is on fold, because I'll be cutting both the front and back on this same side. Okay, so my length is 62 inches and I added 2 inches for hemming allowance to the length. Okay, so for the width of the dress, I'll be using the 4 yards of fabric. So I'll just go ahead and fold it like this. Remember, I said I'm cutting both the front and back patterns together. So when I'm done doing this, the next thing for you to do is to take your neck width. Now I advise you use a neck width of 2.5 inches to 3 inches, please, because this is a silky fabric, so it won't be too wide. So for the depth of the neckline, I am coming down by 1 inch for the back neckline and 7 inches for the front neckline, and I'll just go ahead and connect all of them together like this. So when you're joining your shoulders, you can come down by 1 inch from the shoulder line and you connect it to meet your neck width like this. So but for this dress, I'm not joining my shoulders. So the next thing I'll do is to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2 and I'll mark it from the midpoint. After that, from the shoulder, I'll determine how long I want the sleeve to be. Okay, remember this is a cut together dress, so for me I use 20 inches from my shoulder. That's the length of my sleeve, so I went ahead to mark it right now. Because I made it 20 inches because I am adding my organza to it. Okay, so the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to cut out the back neckline first before opening it like this and cut out the front neckline. So this is all for the drafting. So I'll do the same thing on the main fabric, but let's work on the organza. Now I've gone ahead to fold this organza very well. Like I folded it, I think, into 4 folds. Yeah, so that I'll be able to like get my ruffles very well. Now you get a radius of 2 inches round, like you're doing on your flea. Yes, you just go ahead and mark 2 inches round like this. So after this, you go ahead and take the length of your ruffles, depends on you. So but for me, I use 6 inches for my ruffles. So I'll just go ahead and take my 6 inches round like this. After the 2 inches radius that I marked, I'll just go ahead and take my 6 inches, sorry, like this round. Okay, so this will give you that ruffles. Yeah, this will give you that ruffles effect instead of cutting it the straight way. So you just go ahead and mark it. So after marking out the first 6 inches, I'll go ahead and mark the second 6 inches like this. Okay, as you can see right here, I'll just go ahead and mark the second 6 inches. Now I noticed that the 6 inches will not be enough to go to that length, so I had to like reduce the length. Yes, I had to reduce the length on the other side. So I'll just go ahead and connect all the lengths like this. So when you're done, you just go ahead and cut it. You go ahead and cut following the shape that we just marked right here. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have this as our ruffles. I'll just go ahead and unpin it. Yes, so please pin it so that you won't be having like other ruffles folded inside without you knowing. So after this, I'll just go ahead and open one side of the ruffles each so that I'll be able to join them. Remember we cut them on fold. So I'll just go ahead and open one side like this and I will rejoin them, okay, to the other side like this. I'll go ahead and rejoin them to the other side right here. So guys, the next thing we will do is to work on this dutchess fabric. We'll just go ahead and work on the dutchess fabric. I'll take it on the floor. Yes, I'm doing this on the floor and not on my cutting table because it will be too big for the table. So before then, let's work on the waistline. Now remember, it has an inner belt, so that inner belt is on the front part of the dress. So you just go ahead and fold your dress like this into two, and then from the shoulder line you will mark your waistline. If you want the belt to be on your underbust, fine. If you want it to be on your waistline, that's fine. And from this midpoint, you divide your waist circumference by 4 and you will mark right here. You divide the waist circumference by 4 and you will mark. So whatever you have, you just go ahead and hold it on with a pin. Yes, then you retrace it like this. Okay, so after doing this is what you will have. So you just go ahead and cut out your belt and sew it. And so after sewing it, you just fix it on the inner side of this waistline like this. So let's work on the main fabric. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 4 as illustrated earlier. I folded it into 4, cutting both the front and back together. So the first thing I'll do is to mark my waistline. Yes, that is for the belt effect, so that's why I'm marking out my half length. Sorry, I'll just go ahead and mark my half length, which is 18 inches for this dress. So the next thing I'll do is to take the neck width of 3 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 3 inches for my neck width, and also a depth of 1 inch for the back neckline and 7 inches for the front neckline. So remember, the front is a V neckline, so yours can be different, depends on you. So I'll just go ahead and connect them together like this, as you can see me showing you guys right here. So the next thing I will do is to mark my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches from the midpoint like this. After marking these 8 inches, I'll determine how long I want the sleeve to be. Now remember, you're adding an organza to the hem of your sleeve, so you know the length that you want to use. So, but for me, I use 20 inches since I am adding an organza at the hem of the dress. So the next thing for you to do is to measure whatever you have from your midpoint to the sleeve length, and you take that measurement straight down from your shoulder line to meet the hem of your dress like this, as you all can see me doing right here. So guys, after doing that, on your waistline you divide your waist circumference by 4 and you will mark like this. Okay, now after doing this, you hold it on with a pin and you will retrace it to the other side. Now remember, I am doing this on the inner side of my dress, yes, because that is where the belt will be. So I'll just go ahead and hold it on with a pin so that I'll be able to know, then I will mark it out very well. So this is what we have. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the back neckline first. Yes, I'll cut out the back neckline first, then I'll open it up so I can be able to cut out the front neckline. Remember, the front neckline is a V neckline. So I'll just go ahead and open it up like this. Now before doing this, please remember to notch, yes, notch the midpoint of your shoulder, that's your shoulder line, notch them first, and also your neckline piece. Okay, that's where the shoulder line is on the neck area. You go ahead and notch it too, so that you not get confused when sewing. So after folding it like this, I'll just go ahead and cut the neckline, that is the front neck line. I'll just go ahead and cut it like this, as you all can see me doing right here. So this is what we have for the neckline. So I'll be using a bias for this and not a facing. If you want to use a facing for yours, you can also go ahead and use a facing for mine. So the next thing I'll just go ahead to do is to cut out a rope. Yes, I did 4 inches width for my rope. Sorry, I didn't show you guys here. 4 inches width for my rope, and for the length, I made the length 30 inches. You know, I'm cutting 2 ropes, so I cut 30 inches times 2. That's 1 for each side and the other one for the other side. Okay, so guys, I've also gone ahead to bias the neckline and attach the rope to the waistline. Now the rope is being attached inside. Remember, it's an inner belt, so I've attached the rope inside at the waistline and also bias it. So guys, when you're done, please give it a good press. So the next thing we'll do is to work on the organza. So I'll just go ahead and join all the organza's ends together. Yes, I'll go ahead and sew it, all of them, to give me a very long organza, like a very long ruffles. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and join all of them like this in my sewing machine, then I'll get back to you guys. So guys, I am done doing that, and the next thing for us to do is to sew the organza on the dutchess fabric, that's on the main fabric. Now this is how I will place the organza on the right face of the dutchess. Okay, I'll place it on the right face, that is right side of the organza facing the right side of my dress like this. Okay, now you go ahead and you place it from one hemline to meet the other hem line. Now when you are placing it, to a point that this joining side will be facing it should be facing this other side, okay, like this. So you just go ahead and place it, and you sew from one hem line straight to meet the other hem line like this. That is after joining your shoulders. For those of you that did shoulder joining, you just go ahead and you sew it. Now after doing this first part, after sewing it from one hem line to meet the other hem line, you will now sew the second organza. Now remember, the organza is in two forms, that is a doubled ruffles that we are making. So after sewing the first ruffles, you sew the second one again. That is on a repeated process. Okay, whatever thing you do to one end, you do it to the other end like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew the first ruffles that we have. Okay, so now this is what we have like this, so you can see what it looks like. So on the hemline, I came up by 2 inches, so this is for the folding allowance. Before sewing the organza, I came up by 2 inches on the both sides of the hemline before sewing the organza. So this is the first step of the organza. I'll go ahead and sew the second step of the organza. So guys, I am done sewing both the first and second step of the organza, and I also went ahead to weave it. Okay, so you can see what it looks like. I also went ahead to weave the hemline of the organza and also the inner side of the organza. So the next thing for us to do is to get a sleeve opening and shape. So from the shoulder line, this depends on you, but for me, I came down by 12 inches for the sleeve opening. I'll just go ahead and mark 12 inches for my sleeve opening right here, and from this side I will come in by 4 inches. Yes, you know it's a maxi dress, supposed to be very free, so I'll just go ahead and come in by 4 inches from this 12 inches, and I'll take this 4 inches straight down to meet the hem line of the dress. Okay, to meet the hem, whatever thing I do to one end, sorry guys, I'm just showing you guys one side because the dress is too big, so that's why I'm just showing you guys one side of the dress. So whatever thing you do to one end, you do it to the other side of the dress. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and take the 4 inches straight down to meet the hemline of the dress, and I'll take it over to my sewing machine and I will sew. So after shaping, I also go ahead and sew the hemline of the dress with the allowance that I left for the folding allowance. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and fold it on, and when I'm done, I'll give it a very good press, and that's just all for our dress. So guys, we're done, and see the full dress with the inner belts and without the inner belts. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.